You won't believe what happened when a billionaire CEO mocked a black mechanic on the side of a busy highway and challenged him to fix her car in 30 minutes, or she'd marry him. She said it as a joke. The crowd laughed. But he didn't. He simply rolled up his sleeves, smiled, and said two words that froze her in place. Challenge accepted. What she didn't know was that this mechanic wasn't just skilled. He was a genius who could read engines like books. And as he worked in silence, ignoring every insult she threw at him, something strange started happening. Her confidence started to crumble, and his quiet power began to rise. But when the engine roared back to life, perfectly, flawlessly, in just 28 minutes, the arrogant CEO, who mocked him in front of everyone, suddenly realized she had underestimated the wrong man. And that foolish marriage bet she made? Well, let's just say it didn't end the way she expected. This is the story of how humiliation turned into partnership, how arrogance turned into respect, and how a single challenge on a highway changed two lives forever. Stop right there. Don't touch that engine. Those were the first sharp, piercing words that sliced through the chilly morning air on Aspen Hill Highway. The sun had barely risen, yet the scene looked like something out of a dramatic movie. A sleek, glossy black Mercedes stalled right in the middle of the road, steam faintly rising from under its hood, and its furious owner pacing circles like a lioness ready to attack. That owner was Victoria Hale, the kind of woman who didn't just enter a space, she owned it. CEO of a billion-dollar tech empire, known everywhere for her ruthless efficiency, her unshakable confidence, and a tongue sharp enough to slice through steel. People who worked for her claimed she didn't walk. She glided, like someone permanently above the world around her. And right now, her designer heels clicked on the pavement with enough attitude to make pedestrians keep their distance. She was on the phone, her voice raised in frustration. I don't care what the diagnostics said. Just send another driver. This car is 6 months old. It shouldn't even be breaking down. But help arrived from somewhere she definitely didn't expect. A man in worn boots, a gray work shirt stained with engine grease, stepped forward. Darius Cole, the town's most reliable mechanic, had been on his way to a job when he spotted the luxury car stranded. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't loud. And yet everything about him radiated calm competence. Victoria turned and practically froze, staring at him as though he had no right to exist near her precious machine. You, she scoffed loudly, scanning him from head to toe. Fix my car, please. This engine alone costs more than your entire workshop. People on the sidewalk slowed down, sensing drama. But Darius didn't react. No annoyance, no anger, just a quiet patience he'd built from years of dealing with customers who thought buying a fancy car made them better human beings. Ma'am, he said evenly, either you let me help, or you'll be standing here till evening. Your choice. Victoria rolled her eyes so hard anyone could hear it. Then, with a laugh dripping arrogance, she said loudly so everyone passing by could hear, Fine. Fix this engine in 30 minutes, and I'll marry you. Gasps filled the air. She meant it as a joke, a humiliation. But Darius didn't flinch. Instead, he smiled. Challenge accepted. He rolled up his sleeves, stepped forward, and lifted the hood. As a silent crowd gathered for the show, Victoria Hale wasn't always the billionaire goddess people saw today. She grew up in a cramped one-bedroom apartment with leaky ceilings and broken heaters, living on instant noodles and determination. Her mother worked 2 part-time jobs. Her father left before she started school. From a young age, she learned that the world respected only power, and she vowed never to be looked down on again. But somewhere along the way, the girl who fought to be respected became the woman who refused to respect others. She believed that success created categories of people, the elite, and everyone else. So when her luxury Mercedes betrayed her this morning, leaving her stranded, and a black mechanic with rough hands approached to help, her instinctive wall rose instantly. Deep down, she wasn't racist, she was classist. Anyone who didn't fit her vision of high value was dismissed without a second thought. As Darius worked, she hovered nearby with crossed arms, her expression a blend of boredom and superiority. What are you even doing? She said condescendingly. You haven't checked the onboard diagnostics. You can't just guess. But Darius didn't respond. He moved with practiced precision, testing connections, loosening clamps, reading subtle engine sounds like a musician tuning an instrument. People passing by began to notice the strange dynamic. The striking CEO dripping in wealth, mocking every breath she exhaled, and the mechanic who ignored every insult like he was immune to arrogance. It irritated Victoria more than she expected. "Why aren't you saying anything?" she snapped. "Nothing to defend yourself with." Without looking up, he replied quietly, "Engines talk more than people. I listen to them first." The simplicity of the statement caught her off guard. No sarcasm, no defensiveness, just calm truth. For the first time, her mind, itself a machine of constant superiority, hesitated. She watched him more closely. His hands moved with confidence, precision, and familiarity only someone deeply skilled could possess. He checked things she hadn't even considered. He looked at the engine like it was a story he was reading. Minutes passed. The crowd grew larger, whispering, recording, waiting. And something inside Victoria, just a sliver, shifted from contempt to curiosity. 28 minutes. That's all Darius needed. He stepped back, wiping his hands with a rag he carried in his pocket. He didn't brag. He didn't announce victory. He simply nodded toward the driver's seat and said, "Try the ignition." Victoria smirked, lifting her chin. She had already rehearsed the line she'd throw at him when the engine refused to start. Something like, "Nice try, but I don't marry amateurs." She pressed the start button, and the engine roared to life instantly. Not just running perfectly, smoother than it had in months. The low hum vibrated with flawless calibration. Victoria's jaw literally dropped. "No, that's not possible," she whispered. "This engine wasn't even giving proper error codes." Darius shrugged gently. "I've rebuilt 3 of these. Turbo pressure was uneven, wiring was loose, and your airflow sensors were misaligned. Whoever worked on it last wasn't careful." People around murmured in awe. Several recorded the moment. Someone whispered, "Man just embarrassed a millionaire with a wrench." Victoria felt her pride sting harder than the wind whipping around her. For years, she assumed money made her smarter than everyone else. But this man, this quiet, humble man, just solved a problem her luxury dealership couldn't diagnose in 3 visits. She wasn't used to being impressed. She wasn't used to being wrong. "Wait," she said as Darius began packing his tools. "You're seriously this good?" "I'm better," he said without arrogance, just truth. The confidence hit her harder than his skill. And then, before she could process her next thought, a voice from the crowd called out, "Ma'am, your 30 minutes are up. Better get that wedding dress." The crowd laughed. Darius chuckled lightly. "Relax," he said. "I'm a mechanic, not a groom. Just doing my job." But his kindness only made her feel more foolish. For the first time in years, Victoria Hale, stone-cold CEO, untouchable powerhouse, felt something unfamiliar. Respect. For someone she'd tried to humiliate. Hours later, in her corner office, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, Victoria couldn't focus. Every time she looked at her perfectly tuned car parked below, she saw Darius's face, the calm, collected mechanic who refused to be belittled. By late afternoon, she made a decision that shocked even herself. She drove to his workshop. It was small, nothing fancy. A peeling sign above the door, stacks of tires out front, oil stains on the pavement. Customers chatted happily inside, trusting the man who worked miracles with engines. Victoria entered, and every head turned. A billionaire in an expensive coat didn't exactly belong here. Darius slid out from under a pickup truck, eyebrows raised. "You again," he said with a faint smile. "Need another 30-minute miracle?" "No," she said firmly. "I owe you something." He stood, wiping his hands. "You owe me nothing." But she shook her head. "I do owe you. And more than that, I misjudged you. I judged your clothes, your job, your workshop. I was wrong." Darius waited silently, neither forgiving nor demanding. She reached into her designer bag and pulled out a thick folder. Inside was a proposal. "I want to build a new division," she explained. "Smart diagnostics, real-time engine analysis systems. But I need someone who understands engines, Not just a theory, but the heartbeat of a machine. She looked him straight in the eyes. And I want you to run it. Darius blinked, stunned. You're offering me a job? No, she corrected softly. I'm offering you a partnership. Silence. Years of disrespect, underestimation, and quiet battles flashed through Darius's mind. He was talented, maybe more talented than half the engineers Victoria employed, but no one had ever offered him something this big. But he wasn't desperate. He wasn't hungry for validation. I won't work where I'm disrespected, he said firmly. Victoria nodded. And you won't be. I promise you that. Not a robotic CEO promise. A genuine human one. Slowly, cautiously, Darius extended his hand. Then let's build something real. Victoria shook it. And for the first time since the morning, her smile wasn't cold. It was hopeful. Months passed like a whirlwind. The partnership exploded into success. Car magazines wrote about their innovation. Investors lined up. Darius became the head of an engineering division that valued real skill, not shiny resumes. Victoria had changed too. She no longer barked orders or dismissed people by appearance. Working beside Darius taught her something she had forgotten long ago. Respect must be earned and given. Talent doesn't wear a uniform. And greatness often grows in unexpected places. Their work relationship grew into late-night conversations, shared coffee, brainstorm sessions, laughter, and a comfort she never thought she'd find with someone outside her polished corporate world. One evening, after they secured a major investment, they celebrated in the new office, a place with spotless floors, fresh paint, and a plaque on the wall reading, Coal and Hale, innovations that drive the future. Victoria chuckled, swirling her drink. Do you remember what I told you on the highway? Darius smirked. Fix the engine and I'll marry you? They burst into laughter. That was the most embarrassing moment of my life, she admitted. That was the most entertaining moment of mine, he teased. She nudged him playfully. You know, the engine is still running perfectly. He raised an eyebrow. So, does the old deal still stand? Victoria paused, smiling softly, this time without arrogance, without walls. Maybe, she whispered. After all, you fixed more than just my car. Their eyes met. Not as CEO and mechanic, not as billionaire and blue-collar worker, but as two people whose lives collided through a broken engine and healed through respect. A crowd of employees burst in with cheers, breaking the moment, but not the connection. And in that noise, in that room filled with success and second chances, Victoria realized something powerful. Sometimes life doesn't punish you with the people you underestimate. Sometimes it gifts them to you. And it all began with 6 unbelievable words shouted on a highway. Fix this engine and I'll marry you. If you enjoyed this story of unexpected respect, redemption, and the powerful twist that turned a cruel joke into a life-changing moment, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more viral stories just like this. Your support helps this channel grow and brings you more inspiring and dramatic stories every single day. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, and remember, never underestimate anyone, because the person you look down on today might be the one who lifts you up tomorrow.